So today we're going to do like a rebuild of this unit. We're going to be changing a compressor, but from the looks of it, there's a leak on the second stage. It looks like someone's repaired something right there before, but there's oil everywhere all along here. And before I even put my gauges on it, the second stage compressor has been overheating, so it looks like it's short on gas. So before I start recovering anything, we're going to be doing a leak check. And then, so what we got going on is this compressor's grounded. We're changing that one. This one someone had put 407C in. We're going to go ahead and put R22 back into that guy, and then the new one will have R22 also. So that's where we're at. We're just kind of making our life easy. We pulled the top off the unit. Okay, so we've disassembled this thing. There was a giant weld right here, big old ugly booger. We took out this side panel, and it's leaking right down. It's gonna be hard to get this, but look at that. So their shitty weld that they did, we're gonna try to fix it. We'll end up cutting the panel out and welding this shut so we can get this whole unit operational. So we're gonna cut that bulkhead. So that's the whole evaporator side. This is the panel that goes up right there and separates it. So here's the other perspective of where we're going. So we're gonna cut out this section, get in there, and try to redo this. So it's kind of a pain in the ass because when they braze that, they kind of like, it adhered to the metal a little bit, so it's a bitch to get that metal cut out. But we're getting there. Kind of destroying other stuff in the process though. But sometimes when you do this, you really can't avoid some of that. We'll lay some beads of weld on there and hope for the best. As usual, this is turning into a mess. What I'm gonna end up doing, because I can't get this, because that braze that they tried to do destroyed everything. So I'm gonna try to cut this with a hacksaw. We're gonna pressurize the system with nitrogen, so that way when the hacksaw is cutting, it's not getting in the pipe. And then we'll cut it here and we'll put a section of pipe right there. It's the only way I can get in here and do this. Okay, so I told you in that video on that True freezer that everybody has a little hack in them. Well, apparently I do too. So this is the one that was leaking. We completely cut it out, brazed it. And then the one that was kind of bent up, there was nothing I could do about it. I just brazed it shut to make sure everything else is cool. We'll go through and we'll make sure none of these little metal pieces are touching the evaporator lines, and that's pretty much it. So now what we're gonna do, since we've got all the refrigerant out of that system, we're gonna try to clear these orifices if they possibly are plugged up. So to do that, we're gonna pressurize the low side with nitrogen, come from the back side on those orifices and heat them up and try to blow any stuff out of them. You know, I don't even know if they're plugged up, but since I got the gas out, I'm gonna try, because they always plug up on these things. And then now we went ahead and installed the compressor. And when we did this compressor, I added this guy right here before I put the dryer in. And we pressurized from the low side with really high pressure and cleared this metering device too, just out of precaution. I don't even know if those plugged up. But then we cleared all the oil out of the lines, made sure there's no leaks. Well, cleared all the oil out, changed the dryers, and then now we're gonna do a pressure test with nitrogen to make sure we don't have any leaks on the first stage. Okay. All right, so at this point, we've got the panel put back up as best as it'll go. Everything's ready. We're ready to start our evacuation. We're just kind of cleaning up. We'll get that evap cleaned out a little bit, put a filter rack on there. It's looking good so far. We went ahead and replaced all the Cormax tools, the big giant shraders that the carriers have. Since we had all the gas out, we changed them all. And that's pretty much it. So we're just gonna evacuate, and then in a little while we'll split and clean this condenser. We're slowly starting to put the unit back together. We went ahead and pulled all the evaporator section out, cleaned the drain pan. We went ahead and pulled the blower assembly out, cleaned the blower assembly. We got two people here, so why not? We pulled the drain, or cleaned the drain pan on the back side. And then now we're just slowly starting to put together. We went ahead and rinsed this, split it properly, cleaned it. I straightened out the fins as best as I could. This side is a massive improvement. It's like tenfold to what it was. So that's bitching. This thing's gonna be able to breathe now. So I'm letting the system run right now. Both compressors are on. It's pulling out 91-degree return air, so it's under a heavy load. It's pretty humid in there too. So we're just waiting. Easy up, set up. That's pretty much it. You know, I don't know if I told you guys, but it's like a mess. The compressor that we didn't change, I think I did say this, but anyways, the compressor that we did change, or did not change, is actually the wrong compressor for this system. This is a 12.5 ton system, and someone went and installed a 5-ton compressor there. Why? I don't know. I don't know if they knew what they were doing, so actually it's too small. And I've brought that up to them, and they just want to kind of patch it up and get it along. So we changed the compressor the first stage, and we put the right one in, and it's kind of hard to charge that second stage compressor too, because the nameplate charge isn't accurate, and the compressor, you know, so basically it's just kind of Frankenstein. I'll be honest with you, the leak that we fixed was on the second stage, and I wouldn't be surprised if that compressor dies pretty soon anyways, because you could tell it'd been overheating. So once it dies, we'll put the right compressor in there. But yeah, we're just waiting right now, waiting for it to come down in temperature. Of course, I walked out into there, and this is just like the other restaurants. This AC is not working right now. This AC is iced up. This AC is iced up. This AC is iced up. It's like, what the heck? These restaurants are just killing me. I mean, I guess I should be thankful it's work, but. So this is what I'm talking about. This is the compressor we did not change, and it's a ZR61. And this is the factory compressor, a ZR68. So it's about 8,000 BTUs, so almost a ton shy on this system, just under a ton. And you could tell it's been overheating. Now, mind you, we came in here and we found it was low on charge, so we fixed that. But now both of these guys have R22 also. This one has 407C written right here. We'll be taking that off. It's all R22, baby. All right, so this was an AC that we were having to go back and replace a compressor on. This was one that I had diagnosed about, I'd say, a month ago. And luckily the customer was okay because we were busy. We kind of held off on getting it going. So we kind of found this right in the middle of our heat wave. Nevertheless, we went out there with a new compressor, knowing that we were going to run into some other problems too, because these units are just a disaster. So obviously we replaced the compressor, but because it was a burnout or a grounded compressor, we put a high acid liquid dryer and a high acid suction dryer. And I purged the system with nitrogen in multiple different ways to clear out all the bad oil. So for instance, before I brazed in the new dryer, I disconnected the discharge line of the compressor, blew from the discharge out through the condenser, and then vice versa. And then the same thing in the evaporator, blowing all the sediment and oil that I could get out of the lines. Okay, the theory is because it was a burnout, there could be carbon all throughout the system, you know, an acid, whatever. So we did that. Then I went ahead and, like I told you guys, just out of precaution, I went ahead and cleared the fixed orifice metering devices as best as I could. So like I told you guys in the video, I brazed on a piece onto the suction line and blew straight from that piece. So I blew backwards through the evaporator, back out the metering device, all at the same time while I was taking my oxyacetylene torch and heating up the fixed orifice metering device, like right where they go into the evaporator, heating each one of those up. And the theory is that if you heat them up, maybe you might break free some of that wax buildup or sludge that's formed in the piston that's inside of there. So did that on both stages, both systems, first and second stage. Then we went ahead and replaced or repaired the evaporator leak on the second stage, of which I wasn't there to fix, but I was tearing the unit apart and we had some time in the quote, so we just got it done. Then we fixed that. You know, it doesn't look pretty, but sometimes you got to do what you got to do. The customer, I talked to them, you know, I asked them, do you guys want to replace this unit? You'd be better off come with a unit with 410. And they said no. They do not want to replace. They wanted me to do what I had to do to get it working. So that's what I did. Okay. Kind of looks a little butchered. We covered up some of those holes going into the compressor section with some foam tape to try to make sure we don't get too much air bypassing. It's a really small hole, but still. Other than that, guys, you know, it's just a pretty basic compressor replacement. I still haven't even figured out exactly what was going on with the other ACs that I told you guys about in the video. I de-iced them really quick, and we actually have some work orders ready to go back. So I got them operating, but I got to go figure out why they were iced up. Other than that, that's pretty much it, guys. Okay, so appreciate you guys watching my videos. Thanks for all the feedback you guys have been giving me. Keep it coming. I really appreciate the emails I've been getting. I appreciate the comments you guys have been leaving. Whether it be on Facebook or on YouTube, that's great. You guys have really been helping me out by, you know, giving me some
some likes and comments. You know, that stuff helps me because it YouTube recognizes that stuff, and then it helps me to pop up in search results and all that good stuff. Anyways, that's it, guys. We will see you guys on the next one.